All right, thank you so much for joining us on our 97th edition of Lunch Out Loud Ottawa. My name is Nick Petruski.
And I'm Andrew Miller.
And of course, we are the podcast that talks to the people, places, events, and music that make this city the incredible city that it is. Mm-hmm. And of course, you can like us on Facebook at facebook.com, LOL, Ottawa. Subscribe to us on iTunes. Tell your friends. And hopefully you enjoy this episode. It's going to be a really special one. And before we get to our special guest, Mr. Chief Bordeleau, why don't we check this out?
Hi, my name's Scott, and I play in a band called Emmas Ringer from Ottawa. We've got some material that we're going to be spinning on the program today from our new record that we released this week called Generations. So hopefully you guys dig the tunes and pick up the album. Just give you a bit of history on the band. We have been around actually since the early 2000s in different lineups and sort of on and off the scene. But I got together with our keyboardist Scott McCooey back in 2010, and we just started jamming out some of the older songs and decided we'd take it one step at a time. And a few months later had released our first EP called The Spirits Will Guide, which you can get for free off our website at emmasringer.com. That was released in 2011. Started playing some shows in late 2011, making the stuff a little bit experimental live with a drum machine. Didn't really resonate with us the way we wanted it to. We wanted to be a little more like a traditional, rock band setup. So we decided we would look for a drummer and discovered Owen Coffin online and decided we would start jamming out some tracks, and we're just instantly impressed by what he was able to do and bring to the band. And he's our current drummer, and we started playing live shows in 2012 with Owen and sort of redesigning and reintroducing our style to the scene. And since then, played many shows with great bands in Ottawa and outside of the city. Played the Live 885 Big Money Shot. In 2012, we worked with James Robertson to produce our song Have It Your Way, which is on our new record, and did a few music videos with a local producer called Zachary Spence, who also mixed and mastered our current album, which is called Generations, released this week, and released our first single from that in September called Hong Kong, which you can also see the video for on YouTube. So we have a lot of stuff kind of going on right now, and are hoping to do a small tour in the new year and get into the festival circuit in the province and possibly throughout other parts of Canada in the summertime. So, anyways, long story short, new album called Generations out this week, and you can get that on iTunes, Bandcamp, or CD Baby in digital or physical formats. The best way to find it is just to go Google our name or go to Facebook and check us out, or go to our website at emmasringer.com and get yourself a copy of the album. So hopefully you like the tunes you hear today, and we'll see you out in the live scene or somewhere around sometime soon.
Thank you so much, Emmas Ringer. So they just played their CD release last weekend, and they sound very good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Some great stuff. So before we get to our special guest, at halftime we'll have some talk from Jen at Foodie Prince.
Yeah.
Talking about the local food scene coming up in the future, and all that great stuff.
For sure.
So we are live today at the police offices on Elgin Street, the Clink.
Yeah.
Can we call it the Clink? I don't know. It's not a jail. But
I hope it's not a jail.
No, it feels pretty nice here in the nice corner office.
This is a very nice office you have here.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So, like we get to know all of our guests in Ottawa, we like to start off with the easy questions first to get you in. Did you grow up in Ottawa, and how did you arrive in Ottawa, I guess?
Yeah, I was born and raised here in Ottawa. I was born at the Montfort Hospital and grew up in South Ottawa.
Oh, nice.
Went to French Elementary School, French High School, Charlevoix, which is now St. Pat's on Alta Vista Drive.
Yeah.
And did my university here, and in 1984 I joined the Gloucester Police Force.
Wow.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Was police being in the policing industry something that you always wanted to do growing up, or
No.
not at all?
No, that's actually, I met my now wife
Yeah.
working at McDonald's. I've had two jobs in life,
Okay.
McDonald's and policing.
Wow.
And my wife Linda and I worked at McDonald's on Alta Vista Drive, and her dad was a superintendent with the Ottawa Police Force. So that's my only connection to policing was my now father-in-law. And I was deciding, do I do university or college after high school? And we started talking about, and I started learning about policing and the interesting career that could be. So I decided to go to Ottawa U. I did my BA, Bachelor of Administration. And I think it was after the first year I decided, okay, policing is what I'm going to do. And I'm going to finish university. And then applied Gloucester, and I got in. So I finished university in March and started May 4th, 1984.
Well, that's good. At least you followed through with the university thing there.
It's important, and I think that's a
Yeah.
message we give. And we're seeing that now more often in our recruits, whether it's university or college education, but more so now the combination of both. And they both complement each other.
Absolutely.
More and more these days. So that's what we look for our recruits.
But you didn't take any special post-secondary education towards policing, right? You didn't go to police college and or take police foundations or something at Algonquin. It was
No, so after you're hired, you go to police college. So I spent a glorious 16 weeks in Aylmer, Ontario. And I've had other courses in policing and leadership throughout my entire career. And I just went back 2 years ago and did my master's through Royal Roads University. And did that in emergency disaster management.
Oh, wow.
So a number of things that you do, continuing education throughout my entire career. And
Do you remember your first chief of police that you worked with?
my father-in-law.
Oh, was he?
Oh, nice.
Ah, that's okay.
So
that's-
he had changed in 1982. He retired from Ottawa Police and went to Gloucester Police and spent 10 years there as the chief of police. And so he happened to be the chief of Gloucester at the time when I got hired.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
So
that's
there's a
good.
good
Did he take
connection.
it? Did he take it easy on you, or was he real hard on you?
He's probably harder on me than anybody else.
Well, that's
but, a lot of people didn't know as well that
Yeah.
he was my father-in-law and those things. But he's been a tremendous mentor to me, and it's been a fascinating career because a lot of people say you're in policing. It's not just one career; it's like 10 careers, because of the whatever section you're in. It's the core is the same, but you're learning so much different things and different skills. You're acquiring different skills depending on the unit that you're working in.
Yeah.
Was it different for you to become a leader, to chief of a police now than it was for him to become then?
Yeah, we have those discussions now around the dinner table, and policing has evolved, and policing has always evolved, and there are different laws now. Accountability as far as behaviors of officers. The public is much more. We are much more under the microscope than he was back in the 50s and the 60s.
They didn't have the internet back then, and
They
people
didn't.
taking videos of everything.
Absolutely, and I think that's a good thing. We're accountable to the public, or my officers are accountable to the public, so it's a good thing. It can be overbearing sometimes because sometimes they just want to do their job.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's those pieces. They always have that on the back of their minds. But there's no question it has changed over the years. The laws are different. The rules of conduct are different, and but many things remain the same. It's about relationships. It's about the us keeping our community safe, and it's about the community trusting us.
Yep.
Those things have always been there. And you go back to Sir Robert Peel's principles. He had a number of principles around policing, and they were created in the 1800s, and they remain true to today as far as the police are the community, and the community are the police, and we serve at the public at the pleasure of the public.
Yeah.
So that those things are still very much true.
And we're seeing right now what can really go wrong when those barriers are broken down. So,
The trust. Our vision is the trusted leader in policing, and those every one of those words is important and means something.
Mm-hmm.
And the trust is not something that we can say, okay, we've got the trust check mark, let's move on to something else.
Yeah.
It's something that I do each and every day, that my civilian members, that our sworn officers do each and every day, in those individual interactions or the conversations that they're having with people that they're dealing with, and in establishing that relationship of trust. Because it just takes one event where you see that trust being damaged.
Absolutely.
You got to rebuild it. But the more trust we build out there, and when we have something significant that happens that's not as positive, then those people who supported you will come and stand by your side and say, no, it's okay, we're with you, we can work through this. And we've seen examples of that in the past number of years.
So you grew up in the Ottawa South area, you said. Are you still in the same area, or have you moved along somewhere else? Or?
I'm a South End boy. And
Yeah?
That's right. We got married and we moved in the Cedarwood Drive area. Then Hetherington area was our first townhome.
Yep.
And now we're in the Hunt Club area. And we
Right,
enjoy
my
it.
neck of the woods.
Yeah.
What have you seen then, since you've been your whole life, with the growth of Ottawa? Are there any major changes that you've noticed and or like or dislike with the way that Ottawa's been growing over the years?
Well, I think it's a beautiful city. It's grown and it's the right size.
Yeah.
From a culture perspective, from a recreation perspective, it's got everything that you want in a nice city, and everything's close by. But it's a huge territory to cover.
Absolutely.
2,700 square kilometers is huge. You could fit 6 fairly big cities: Montreal, Toronto, Vancouver, Calgary, and I think there's another city. You fit that into Ottawa itself. So 80% rural, 20% urban. So it's got its challenges from a policing perspective.
I bet.
But what I've seen change over the years, certainly the population number, but the diversity. We continue to be a very diverse community, and I think that adds so much to our makeup and who we are as Ottawa. And it's a great city to live in, and but diversity comes those types of challenges as well. New Canadians coming to Ottawa, adapting to Canadian life, and understanding what stuff people bring from their home countries namely around policing. There's some countries that police officers aren't the friendliest bunch, and they operate under very different regimes. So to educate and to build that trust with our new Canadians here in Ottawa becomes even more and more important, because you want them to know that if they are a victim of crime or something happens to them, that they can call the police service, that we are there to help them. And sometimes that's a very difficult message to get across.
And when does that start, say, for a new immigrant? Do they find maybe a community group in their area? Do you see them as being the number ones that reach out to them, and then you're brought in after? Or because I do see that is a very challenging thing, but a very worthy thing and great thing.
We've got organizations in Ottawa like Catholic Immigration Services. That's one of their roles is to help new Canadians integrate into Canadian society and into Ottawa. And where our relationship is with that type of organization is we'll go in and we'll do presentations, we'll have those discussions, we'll give them some documentation to start building that trust and that relationship as soon as possible. We did deal with victim services and a bunch of different organizations where they are connected to the immigrant community, and that they can say, no, the Ottawa Police Service you can trust, and here's how you can reach them, and here's perhaps an opportunity to meet with them and have those discussions. And
being at so many events throughout the year as well, and always the friendliest. And people always find it amazing when they can take photos with police officers. I think that's great because, like you're saying, that just shows that they're normal people too, and we can. It's not a police state. It's not. Our visibility, our presence, and participation